Ghislaine Maxwell is potentially preparing to drop the hammer on Trump. Trump is scrambling, but if I'm frank, my sort of cynical self believes that this is all going to work out for Donald Trump. So let's back up. The convicted sex trafficker and associate of Jeffrey Epstein, Ghislaine Maxwell, has kind of lit a political stick of dynamite, for lack of a better term, and that is rolling towards Donald Trump. In a letter to House Oversight Chair James Comer, Maxwell now says she's willing to testify. She's eager to testify before Congress about what she knows regarding the Epstein sex trafficking network. This is a red alert emergency moment for Donald Trump. But Ghislaine Maxwell has some conditions. Number one, she wants immunity. Number two, she wants to wait on the testimony until after her appeal has worked its way through the Supreme Court. She is arguing before the Supreme Court that as an associate of Epstein, she should be part of the non-prosecution agreement against Epstein, and therefore that her entire prosecution was inappropriate. That's what she's arguing. And then most brazenly, she wants clemency of her sentence from Donald Trump. Now notice, she wants clemency, not a pardon. I don't believe that that's an accident. The lawyers I've spoken to have explained to me that a pardon would wipe out her conviction, but it would also eliminate her ability to plead the fifth on any elements she wants to plead the fifth about. If I understand correctly, from what I'm being told, with clemency, she keeps the conviction on paper, but she also keeps her right to stay silent when it matters. And that is a significant amount of leverage if you're in Ghislaine Maxwell's position. It's control and it's strategic. She knows the value of what she has. She knows how much is riding on this. It goes all the way up to the Oval Office. But why would she volunteer to say more unless she's getting something in return? Because she's already been convicted. She's already in prison. There's one reason to step back into the spotlight, and that would be someone made it worthwhile for her. And that's where my cynical self kicks in. And I think that many in the audience, based on the emails you've sent me, kind of share this cynicism, which is that it's starting to feel like this is being set up really for Maxwell to say nothing bad about Trump, name some names, appear to be forthcoming, and walk away with a deal that gets her out of prison. Yes, she will testify if and when the conditions she wants are met. Only with questions in advance, by the way, is another detail. Only once the legal threats to her future are minimized. And maybe after there's some back channel assurances that if she downplays Donald Trump's role in all of this, that Trump is going to take care of her and she's going to get out of prison. And what makes all of this so frustrating is that it's extraordinarily transparent. She's a convicted child sex trafficker holding a political grenade in her hand. And everyone's walking around like this is fine. There's limited outrage. There's limited urgency. And it actually might work for her. And if you look at the way Trump's been dealing with this, this is not an exaggeration. The timeline we're in includes Trump being asked, are you considering pardoning her? And he doesn't go, oh, her crimes are so serious, I would never do that. No, Trump goes, well, I have the right to pardon her. I haven't thought about it yet, but I have the right to pardon her. And any reasonable skeptic would say, we see where this is all sort of pointing to. Now, Trump is doing everything he can to do damage control. He's suing the Wall Street Journal for the story that he wrote Epstein this birthday letter and drew an image on the birthday card. He's lashing out at his own supporters, saying that if you buy into this stuff, you're a weakling, you've been duped, and all of this sort of stuff. So then we get to Ghislaine Maxwell gets her deal. She shows up and she's going to talk. What could she say? Well, she could explain who Trump introduced to Epstein. Did Trump introduce victims, eventual victims to Epstein? And of course, that's where this entire Virginia Giuffre thing comes into play, which is Trump says Epstein stole the underage girl from his spa. But what if that's not exactly the truth? What if she ended up working or going to Epstein? I don't even know that you can call it working based on a deliberate introduction. What did Trump know about Epstein's behavior? Did Trump visit properties where abuse was taking place? Or did Donald Trump's name come up in private Epstein documents that Maxwell still has access to? Now, even if none of this leads to charges, which it almost certainly won't, the political fallout could be huge because the optics, Maxwell testifying under oath during Trump's presidency and saying Trump did this, Trump did that, on just incredible level of explosiveness. But I am worried, increasingly convinced, that there is a sort of carefully choreographed performance here where Maxwell testifies, names some names, but shields Trump from the serious stuff in exchange for clemency. And then once again, how many times is this going to happen? The most vile people get away clean because they're wealthy, they're connected, and they're corrupt enough to back channel and set up a sanitized version of this entire thing. So Maxwell, in theory, preparing to drop the hammer. Trump scrambling to make sure that it happens in a way that doesn't drag him down. But if I'm really honest with you, I think they're setting this up not to implicate Donald Trump and for Ghislaine Maxwell to end up outside of prison rather than in it. Let me know what you think. We'll have more of this on our YouTube channel, youtube.com/thedavidpakmanshow. We have talked before on the show about how the vitamin and supplement industry is barely regulated. The products are often mislabeled, they're expired, they're contaminated. And that's why I'm really excited to have as a new sponsor Quantum Nutrition Labs, which is a brand that does supplements the right way. QNL was founded by two doctors who saw that the supplement industry has become dangerous. And the whole point is, let's skip the shortcuts. Let's not do the junk. And for over 20 years, QNL has really earned the trust of consumers and health professionals because their big thing is purity. Every product is made in certified facilities, third-party tested to verify identity, potency, and potential contaminants, and never any artificial additives. So whatever it is you want in the vitamin and supplement space, they've got it rooted in this commitment to clean sourcing, rigorous testing, and transparency. If you're ready for supplements that match what's on the label, go to qnlabs.com and use the code PAKMAN for an additional 10% off, which you can use in combination with other promotions on the website. The link is in the description.